In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on February 2nd, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. If you're serious about betting, BetAnySports is an offshore sportsbook that offers top-notch odds and an easy-to-use platform. Click the link in our bio to get 30% extra cash on your first deposit. Don't miss out on this great deal. Start using BetAnySports today. Chicago Bulls versus Detroit Pistons. 2 teams from the Eastern Conference are set to battle for a higher position in the standings on Sunday, February 2nd. The Chicago Bulls currently hold a 21-28 record, which places them in 10th place as they attempt to secure the final playoff spot in the conference. However, their recent performance has been concerning, as they have dropped 8 of their last 11 games leading into this matchup. Meanwhile, the Detroit Pistons enter this contest with a 24-24 record, positioning them in 7th place. They are just 1 game behind the Miami Heat for the coveted 6th spot in the standings. Like Chicago, Detroit has also faced recent struggles, having lost 5 of their last 8 games. Chicago remains without the services of Zach LaVine, who is currently unavailable due to personal reasons. On the other hand, the Pistons will have to manage without Jaden Ivey, who is also sidelined. The absence of these key players could significantly impact the game. For the Pistons, missing their second leading scorer in Ivey is a setback, but it does not compare to the loss the Bulls are dealing with. Chicago is without LaVine, who leads the team in scoring with an impressive 24 points per game. The most notable disparity between these 2 teams comes on the defensive side of the ball. The Pistons allow an average of 113 points per game, whereas the Bulls struggle defensively, surrendering 120 points per game, which ranks near the bottom of the league. Additionally, Chicago has failed to cover the spread in 7 of its last 10 contests. On the offensive end, Detroit's Cade Cunningham has been outstanding, ranking 11th in the NBA in scoring with 25 points per game, while also sitting at 3rd in assists, averaging 9.2 per game. Detroit's offense generates an average of 112 points per game and ranks 14th in both field goal percentage and 3-point shooting. Meanwhile, Chicago scores slightly more at 116 points per game, but with LaVine unavailable, that offensive production could take a hit. Both Detroit and Chicago are teams that aim to improve their positioning in the highly competitive Eastern Conference. However, recent struggles, particularly injuries, have hindered the Bulls. The loss of Zach LaVine has had a significant impact, and their defensive shortcomings have exacerbated their issues. Chicago has dropped 8 of its last 11 games, largely due to its inability to defend at a high level. The Bulls rank second to last in scoring defense, allowing nearly 120 points per contest. On the other side, the Pistons have not been overly dominant either, as they hold a 24-23-1 record against the spread this season. They, too, have faced recent difficulties, losing 5 of their last 8 games. However, Detroit is coming off a morale-boosting victory over the Dallas Mavericks, in which Cade Cunningham exploded for 40 points. Cunningham continues to show signs of reaching superstardom and has the capability to take over games single-handedly. Given Chicago's defensive struggles, it will be difficult for them to contain him in crucial moments of the matchup. The Bulls had been experiencing significant struggles before they managed to secure an impressive victory over the surging Toronto Raptors in their last outing. A similar situation applied to the Pistons, who had been on a cold streak before their pivotal win against the Mavericks. While Chicago has lost 7 of its last 10 games and continues to be without its best player in LaVine, Detroit has also experienced a downturn in form, suffering 3 losses in its last 4 contests. Nevertheless, the Pistons appear to be the more reliable team at this stage, as they continue to play with defensive intensity and maintain a focused mindset on making the playoffs. In contrast, the Bulls have looked disengaged at times, and several of their players have been involved in trade rumors, which could be affecting their performance. At this point, it is difficult to separate these 2 teams based on overall performance, but the Pistons have been the stronger and more consistent squad this season. Furthermore, they remain the healthier of the 2 teams, which provides them with a clear advantage heading into this game. Given the current form of both teams, backing the Bulls does not seem like a wise wise choice. Instead, taking the home team at a reasonable betting line, especially with Cade Cunningham poised for another standout performance, seems like the best option. So the Detroit Pistons to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. In terms of the total points, trends suggest that the under is a more favorable play. The total has gone under in 13 of Chicago's last 18 games, including 7 of their last 8 road matchups. The Bulls are already missing their primary scoring option in Zach LaVine, who contributes 24 points per game. Meanwhile, the total has also gone under in 4 of Detroit's last 6 games. Chicago ranks only 16th in offensive efficiency, while Detroit fares even worse at 20th. Additionally, the under has hit in 5 of the Pistons' last 8 contests, and when playing at home, their total record stands at an even 11-11. Over the course of the season, the under is 27-22 in games involving the Bulls, and it has cashed in 7 of their last 10 outings leading up to Sunday's game. While Detroit ranks 16th in pace, Chicago plays at the 3rd fastest tempo in the league. However, despite Chicago's speed, the total for this matchup seems too high given that both teams are, at best, average offensive units. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Los Angeles Clippers versus Toronto Raptors. The Los Angeles Clippers, currently holding a record of 28-20, are positioned in 6th place within the highly competitive Western Conference. They are set to take on the Toronto Raptors, who are struggling this season with a 15-33 record, ranking them 12th in the Eastern Conference. This matchup is scheduled to take place on February 2nd at Scotiabank Arena. The Clippers enter this contest with some momentum as they are riding a 2-game winning streak following a hard-fought 112-104 road victory against the Charlotte Hornets on Friday. On the other hand, the Raptors are looking to bounce back after a disappointing 122-106 home loss to the Chicago Bulls on Thursday. This will mark the second and final time these two teams face each other this season, with the Clippers having narrowly edged out the Raptors in their previous meeting on November 9th, securing a 105-103 victory on their home court. The Clippers are still dealing with several player absences, as they will be without the services of Chris Dunn and Norman Powell. Meanwhile, the Raptors are monitoring the status of Davion Mitchell, who is currently listed as questionable for this matchup. Los Angeles has been one of the stronger teams in the Western Conference when fully healthy, and despite Powell's absence, they still possess a well-rounded and deep roster. However, Toronto has been performing much better in recent games, as they are currently as healthy as they have been all season. This has translated to success on the court, as the Raptors have won 7 of their last 9 games, a significant improvement compared to their early season struggles. Additionally, Toronto has been consistently covering the spread, going 7-2 in their last 9 games, bringing their season record against the spread to an impressive 28-19-1. The Clippers, despite being one of the stronger teams in the league, have struggled at times when playing on the road, as 12 of their 20 losses have occurred away from home. In contrast, the Raptors have performed considerably better at Scotiabank Arena, with 11 of their 15 total wins coming on their home court. This upcoming game presents a unique challenge for the Clippers, as they are dealing with notable depth concerns in their front court. Mo Bamba, who had been contributing as a key piece in their rotation, was involved in a trade on Saturday and will therefore not be available for this contest. This loss further weakens their size in the paint, which could create significant matchup issues against a Toronto team that thrives on its athleticism and youth. Los Angeles, with its veteran-heavy roster, will have to rely on its experience to navigate these depth challenges. However, as the game progresses, fatigue and a lack of interior presence could become problematic for them. The Raptors, despite their struggles earlier in the season, have proven to be a much more competitive team when they have a healthy roster. Their narrow 2-point loss to the Clippers in their previous matchup earlier this season is evidence that they are capable of competing with this Los Angeles squad. So the Toronto Raptors to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. In their most recent stretch of victories, the Clippers have demonstrated their defensive prowess, consistently holding opponents to low-scoring totals. In each of their last 4 wins, they have managed to limit their opposition to 104 points or fewer, with 2 of those games featuring opponents failing to reach the 100-point mark. This defensive success is no fluke, as the Clippers currently rank 3rd in the entire NBA in scoring defense. They also prefer to dictate the tempo of the game at a controlled pace, as evidenced by their ranking of 20th in the NBA in pace of play. Their ability to dominate the board should also play a crucial role in this matchup, as they are the superior rebounding team compared to the Raptors, which will allow them to control possessions and slow the game down to their preferred style. Toronto, on the other hand, has struggled offensively this season, ranking just 19th in the league in points per game. Additionally, their outside shooting has been among the worst in the NBA, as they sit at 29th in the league in three-point field goals made per game. Given the Clippers' strong defensive presence and Toronto's offensive struggles, this game is unlikely to turn into a high-scoring affair. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Dallas Mavericks versus Cleveland Cavaliers. This interconference matchup on the hardwood, set against the scenic backdrop of Lake Erie, features a Sunday afternoon showdown between the Dallas Mavericks and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Mavericks are coming off a disappointing 117-102 road loss against the Detroit Pistons on Friday night, a game in which they entered as slight one-point favorites but failed to meet expectations. Meanwhile, the Cavaliers are riding high after a dominant 137-115 home victory over the Atlanta Hawks on Thursday night, comfortably covering the spread as 11.5-point favorites. Historically, Cleveland has held the upper hand in this rivalry, leading the all-time regular season series 46-40, and they have been particularly dominant in recent years, winning the last 5 encounters between these teams. Their most recent meeting took place on January 3rd, when the Cavaliers secured a 134-122 road victory against the Mavericks, further extending their stronghold in this matchup. Heading into this game, both teams are dealing with injury concerns, which could significantly impact their lineups. The Mavericks are closely monitoring the statuses of Kyrie Irving, Daniel Gafford, and P.J. Washington, as all 3 players are currently listed as questionable. On the other hand, the Cavaliers have already ruled out Isaac Okoro once again and have Caris LeVert marked as questionable. The injury situation for Dallas is particularly concerning, as they are already missing key contributors, including Derek Lively II, Luka Doncic, Dwight Powell, and Maxi Kleber, all of whom have been ruled out for this contest. If Irving is unable to play, the Mavericks will face even greater offensive challenges. Meanwhile, despite Okoro's absence, Cleveland remains one of the deepest teams in the NBA and has the luxury of playing this game on their home court, where they have been nearly unbeatable, boasting an impressive 23-3 record this season. Conversely, Dallas has struggled away from home, managing just a 12-13 record on the road, a factor that could further tip the scales in favor of the Cavaliers. Beyond their recent dominance over Dallas, the Cavaliers have firmly established themselves as one of the most efficient and well-rounded teams in the league. Their recent success against the Mavericks spans nearly 3 full years without a loss, underscoring their superiority in this matchup. One of Cleveland's biggest strengths has been their prolific three-point shooting, as they attempt over 41 shots from beyond the arc per game, a statistic that directly exploits one of Dallas' defensive vulnerabilities. Additionally, the Mavericks have consistently struggled with protecting the paint and securing defensive rebounds, 2 areas that the Cavaliers are well equipped to exploit. With Cleveland's balanced offensive attack and Dallas' ongoing struggles in key defensive areas, the Cavaliers have a strong chance to maintain their recent dominance over the Mavericks in this contest. Given the number of players listed on the injury report, this is certainly a game where bettors and fans alike will need to check the final lineups before tip-off. While the Cavaliers haven't necessarily been at their peak in recent outings, they continue to play at a high level and, crucially, are the healthier team in this matchup, especially with the return of Evan Mobley to their lineup. His presence provides Cleveland with additional size, defensive prowess, and scoring ability, making their already formidable roster even stronger. On the other side, the Mavericks are dealing with a turbulent period marked by injuries and major roster changes. I have been consistently skeptical of the Mavericks in recent weeks due to their ongoing injury issues, and despite some sporadic wins, they haven't displayed much in terms of consistent, impressive performances. While it was already confirmed that Luka Doncic would be unavailable for this game, the fact that he was just traded has sent shockwaves through the team and the league as a whole. The emotional impact on his teammates cannot be understated, and with an early start time for this game, it wouldn't be surprising if the Mavericks come out looking sluggish and disoriented. Furthermore, the Cavaliers have been one of the best teams in the NBA against the spread this season, boasting a 32-16 record in that department, making them the second-best team in the league at covering the number. The spread may seem substantial, but given the current circumstances surrounding the Mavericks, this game has the potential to become a lopsided affair. From the outset, it was clear that the betting line for this game was going to be on the higher side, given the disparity in health and performance between the two teams. However, even with a large spread, it does not deter me from backing the Cavaliers to take care of business at home against a depleted Dallas squad. So the Cleveland Cavaliers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Offensively, Dallas has been relatively consistent over their last 10 games, averaging 114 points per contest. The Mavericks rank 13th in pace, averaging 99.1 possessions per game this season, which has contributed to them hitting the over in 6 of their last 10 outings. On the other hand, Cleveland has established itself as one of the most potent scoring teams in the league, currently ranking second in scoring offense while leading the NBA in both field goal percentage and three-point shooting efficiency. Over their last 10 games, the Cavaliers have averaged an impressive 122 points per contest. Cleveland has also hit the over in 7 of their last 10 games, and notably, the last 2 meetings between these teams have comfortably surpassed the projected total. Cleveland's recent scoring explosions further reinforce the likelihood of another high-scoring affair. In their most recent game, they poured in 137 points, following a previous outing in which they scored 126. Both teams play at a relatively fast tempo, ranking in the top half of the league in pace, which should contribute to a high-scoring matchup. Credit must be given to Dallas, as they are a top 10 team in both effective field goal percentage and three-point shooting, meaning they can still put up points despite their injury issues. Given these factors, we can anticipate both offenses finding their rhythm early and maintaining it throughout the contest. Expect another offensive showcase, with both teams lighting up the scoreboard and pushing this game over the projected total. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.